What's up, anybody? Oh, well, that was quick. I started early, too. It's funny. I still got to put some tunes on, but I thought I'd start early so I get everything settled, and anybody who wanted to come in could come in and say hi before I start breaking open packages and making magic. Well, I wouldn't say magic, but, hot shit. Yeah, I can move these out of here. Let's see anything else I need to clear out. I can go over there. All right. Let's see. Some tunage. A little bit of music. That would have been nice if I had actually clicked on the chat first. Fucking dumbass. And here we go. Let's see. What's on here? Oh. I have to find my cord. All right, and I'm still not technically supposed to be on yet, so almost. But I'll have everything set up by then. Just a moment of time. Sorry, it might have been a little loud for a second. That was the last volume I had it at. Oh, wow, holy crap. There's a whole bunch of people here already. Hey, what's up, everybody? Mikey, what's up, bud? Wow, I didn't expect such a crowd already. Jesus, I guess I better get started. Okay, so, quick background on why I have so much experience with differentials. When I was only back into this for about maybe 6 or 7 months, my ex-wife had a Notorious and put on a set of these, the Proline trencher, which, as we know, can add a whole lot of strain onto a drivetrain. And, well, she was blowing up diffs every other day. And I actually made her take the tires off. But I did gain some experience there and ended up, now we all run those tires. So, eventually I learned how to make them solid. So without further ado, I don't have an aluminum case, which is technically part of the recipe for a bulletproof diff. Mine's still in the mail. I don't know why. Everything I get from Amazon is usually the next day, and the last 2 things have been like a week. I don't know. I mean, all I got was a distributor and a battery strap. So, anyway, these bearings are, I believe, new. Some might be reman. I mean, I dip mine and go back through them and all that kind of stuff, but none of them have any play to them, so that shouldn't affect anything. So anyway, start off with the easy stuff. Just going to put the pinion in. I'm going to start the pinion off with now in order, thinnest, medium thin, medium thick, super thick. Super thick is very obvious in the lineup of shims that come from M2C. You can see the edge of it. It's that thick. Medium thin, you shouldn't be able to bend with your fingers. Now, I am an auto technician, so maybe that has, maybe I have a little more hand strength than a lot of people. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just saying it's not always a good thing. The medium thin, you should be able to flex pretty easily with your thumb and pointer finger and pinky or thumb, pointer, and middle. The thinnest ones you'll be able to bend. You should be able to just walk these over, just flop them over on you. So, yeah, that one is in the wrong pile. So. See, I'm just 90 degree that thing, no problem. All right, so I'll usually start with a medium thin on the pinion. Actually, you know what? I got a feeling about this one. I'm gonna go with a medium thick, but I'll usually be in the mediums. So start there, and I'll let that sit over there and do nothing for a while. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Look, more stickers for my fridge. Let's see if we can coat that whole thing. I'm going to go over a couple of different tips that I've learned over the years that keep these things working. In my experience, there's two major reasons for failure. Bolt failure, having bolts back out, especially on the ring gear side, and also bearing failure. Right, because when bearings, lose their track, they start going off center, wonky, whatever, and they'll eat everything as well. So, and if you want to know what that looks like, in general consensus, this is going to be a bolt failure because you're coming in one section that's messed up. So that's where the bolt came loose and it flexed it. This is also a bolt failure job. As you can see, it's got segmented parts that are messed up. And this is more of a bearing failure where the whole thing is just going all the way around. So I keep those around just for that purpose. All right. First things first, always. Assemble your ring gear on your case. All right. So usually in doing my gears or my diffs when I always do them, I'll Loctite this thing right now at this point. And yes, I know it sounds a little extreme, but the purpose of that is any contamination into your bolts from anything other than Loctite will cause the Loctite not to work, and they will back out. So I'll usually Loctite this thing first when it's dry, just to get it out of the way and make sure that it's not coming apart. In this scenario, since we're doing this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put a couple bolts in it. Oh, I need the gasket. Duh. Make sure, even on dry assembly, you have your gaskets for spacing purposes. So, actually, I'm just going to do it the way I normally do it, just to make things authentic here. Not, strained from any of my normal. And we've got a couple other tips and tricks to go through. That's just one of them. But to me, that is paramount, that you get this thing locked down with Loctite right away. And yeah, I'm using the 271, the thick stuff. Yes, these bolts will not come out unless you add heat. So you'll have to take a torch to your case when you want to take these bolts out. Is that worth not blowing differentials? I think so. That's up to you. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably take differentials apart more for broken crown gears and wasted out drives than I do for failures of ring and pinion. And to me, that's pretty good. Yeah, dude, I was thinking that all day, bro, and yesterday. I would have loved to have that stuff. In case anybody wants to know, Mike's got a delivery on his way to my house of some of his lovely RC goodies. He makes very wonderful body skids, so you don't mess your body up like these. But he makes them custom with logos, different sizes. He makes really killer bumper springs, like that one. Kind of looks like Kermit. And I haven't broken one of his yet, and I've had him for, I don't know, probably a year. Man, maybe 6 months. I don't know. I don't keep track of time well, apparently. Also, wing mounts. Just started making really awesome side skirts, like the whole side skirt piece. And tools as well, such as diff holders, and that's what we're talking about, shock holders, and car stands. Which I was supposed to get a delivery of today, which I wanted to share with everyone, but unfortunately that didn't turn out. All right, so we've got this thing locked in, Loctited. We know the screws aren't going to get contaminated unless you manage to get enough grease on this side to go all the way through. So now we'll put that output drive together and all that. This is automotive assembly lube. It's a lot cheaper and does the same thing. So Mirror out drive. A little bit of yum yum on there. Just get some of that in there. On the O-ring side too. All right. Now we're gonna go with I'm gonna go with the medium thick here again. All right. On top of the gear. Yes. Behind the bearing. You're not going to go in there and freaking bend the crap out of all those little stupid things that they tell you to put in there that are like tinfoil shaped. No. Those have a different purpose. I'll show you that in a minute. So then obviously everybody knows this sequence. O-ring, big washer, small washer. But there's something else coming up that's a little different. All right, so big washer, small washer, and then our drive pin. Yeah, I do break these from time to time too. Oh, drive pins, right? Whenever you're using drive pins, because especially if you have EXP, non-EXP parts, you can interchange these things on accident. Take your drive pin, put it in your out drive, and stick it in the back of your crown gear, and make sure you've got a real good, tight, snug fit. If you don't, then you've got the wrong pin, and you don't want to put that in there because it's going to shatter your crown gear just by moving around. I mean, if you're putting enough torque on it, you know. So, let's see. Get this guy lined up, man. Come on. In you go. Come on. There we go. All right. So then we've got our spacer that replaces the LSD blades, right? So as you can see, this has 4 little grooves in it and 4 little grooves on the other side. We do this because these have lubrication grooves. Why don't these? And we started eating through these shims, like wiring them all the way down and through when we didn't cut these grooves in. So I cut these grooves in for lubrication purposes. Don't put them on the same place side to side because they will break and that will cause diff failure. Try and stagger them. And also I don't make them straight because I figure, you know, maybe if you get them at the right angle, you'll have a scooping effect. Some of these are cut great, some are not. And it's all been a here and there thing, but we're not cutting those washers in half anymore, or spacers, whatever you want to call them. So there you go. All right, so this is going to be a dry assembly first, just to check for movement of everything. So, as everybody knows, all these guys on, flat plates, and our notch pointing in the right direction. Some people will build these in a full stack of all 4 gears and everything and just drop them in, and that does work sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. So, anyway. Notches on the flat plates also go toward the inside and outside of the diff, not side to side or whatever you would call it. So they'll be pointing up when you drop them in like this. Come on, get over there. There we go. All right. So there's those two. This is why I need a diff holder. All right. Yeah, totally, man. All right. So the next 2 plates. And then we got, so that's one of the tricks is cutting those grooves in there. We haven't replaced many washers since we started doing that, and we were eating them up probably every 2 months before that, depending on how much driving you do with one wheel spinning, really. All right, so let's go ahead and drop our crown gear in there. Always get that rotated, make sure it's sitting nice and flush. And a lot of people like to line the crown gear up with the bolt holes. Makes it easier to put the thing together, I guess, if you're doing it like that. So outer bearing, no shim, a little bit of goo, a little in there, a little in there, a little on the drive. So, bam, and then big and small, and pin. And obviously we're not done with this because we still got to put lube in it, but we're going to do a dry assembly here first and get our measurement down for our pinion spacing. So if I have to take it apart, I don't have to take the lube back out of it. So yeah, as some of you might have noticed, I did put a OG. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, never mind. One of the thinnest possible original differential shims, the ones you used to use on the outside of the bearing. Yeah, throw that under one of your guys here. And if you have any binding when you go together, then take it out. But if you don't, No, you just made less gear shock. So less gear shock means less broken gears. Come on, line it up. There we go. And then always make sure these are working and in harmony before you tighten anything down, because you can't tighten them down with the gears not meshing properly. So always give it a little spinny as you're going in. Hey, Cool Spawn, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Welcome to Diffs 101. You missed a little bit, but the important part's still coming. So, all right, again, 2 volts. So see, this is moving perfectly freely, so I don't think that shim is too much in there. In fact, I might risk another one if we weren't going to be running 500K, because we are. So now we come into the important part. So in the case with the one shim on both, all right, get it real in there. Let's see what we got. So holding the pinion. We've got 0 lash. So that's going to be too tight when the cover goes on, because that cover and just bolting it all together takes up a touch. So we're going to take the shim out, and we're going to go to A, C. Yeah. No, let's, okay. A medium thin. I wish I had a good caliper. If I had my digital dial caliper, if it had a battery in it, I would have measured all those for you guys and been able to tell you what size they are. But you can go on the NTC site and it tells you. All right, so it feels better rotationally, but all right. So you get just tiniest bit of play here. Just. It's barely feelable. No, what that's telling me is when I get this cover on, it's going to be boom, fantastic. So find some bolts for that real quick, because I don't have them out for some reason. Well, they don't come with it, so. All right. So bolting that cover down should give us exactly what we want, which is 0 lash with no binding. Because it's easy to go overboard and get it into the binding stage, and that's just going to wear stuff out faster. It's not going to wear in like you think it might. They don't really do that. That's kind of a thing. There we go. All right. And as I'm sure you know, or you've heard, or you're guessing, yeah, don't tighten them all the way down with the drill. Let them sit for a minute and then give them final torque, because threads get hot and they melt, even in these composites. And you could use a really light torque setting on the brake there, but the problem with that is that they get hot. So, all right, so so we seat the bearings a little bit. Yeah, see, it's got a stiff spot and it's digging into the case. So got a little bit too much in there. It's got 0 lash, but yeah, we need to go to a smaller shim. So let's tear it back apart. It's funny, I've rarely had one that didn't run out of the box with 2 mediums. Of course, without the all 4 bolts in the all 4 bolts are in the front cover. So never mind. I was thinking the ring gear might be off center slightly if we only had 2 bolts in the boat. We have all 4 now. There we go. So let's just pop this little guy out of here and get a smaller one. So I think we got the super thin. Another thing is too, I've had some of these come where the teeth are kind of sticking up a little bit on top. I don't know if it's a machining thing or what, but I mean I'm talking a couple thousandths of an inch, no big deal. But still I've shaven down the top of pistons or pinions a little bit to get them to work a little better. With a setup where I had to bury the teeth because they were just worn already. Because unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. Yeah, there's a gap there, so. All right, well, let's see what it feels like with this on it. Something about that screw didn't work right. I don't know what's up with that. It's a brand new case, so it better not be stripped. Oh, and if you want to, if you're running plastic cases and you want to, get them a little stronger, you can drill these down and tap them to where your bolts are here and your other ones come out the bottom here. I mean, not like all the way out the bottom, but just get into the cavity there. Because I've done that plenty of times. Once they strip out, just drill a slightly small hole in and go in with a tap and just make your own threads. Or you can just go right in with the screw and have it make its own threads, however you want to do it. Both ways seem to work just fine. In fact, it might be weaker to tap it because you're cutting threads instead of just boring them or whatever. All right, that feels pretty good. But do we have any play? Piece of hair. We have just the tiniest amount right there. And it's even tighter there, right? So we're dealing with an out around something or other. Something's not quite 1,000% in the hundreds or thousandths of an inch. Yeah, that's really good. There's a spot with just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of play, but we're talking less than a fingernail, really. So I'm good with it. Time to take it apart and finish it by actually adding lube and getting all the bolts in it. Now, after checking both my trucks, both the fronts are a little bit loose as far as the way I like the differential action. So I'm going to go 500K on this because that's what I usually run in the front of either of them. Now remember, the secret is to keep that stuff out of your bolt holes. If you get that silicone or whatever lube you're using in your bolt holes, you're just kind of done. And I like to do mine guts out. Yeah, I can put that in there, but the rest of it. So first thing we're going to do is get some buttons. And make sure they're clean. Because, I mean, if they've got oil on them or any kind of leftover, schmutz, it could sacrifice your ability to hold that freaking Loctite. And that's like, this, I don't know, probably first reason diffs go bad. Either that or just not having the right clearance and just eating the damn gear out. God knows I've done plenty of them in 2 years or so. Oh shit, everybody's having a conversation but me. Yeah, right, Mike? Wow. Yeah, I think. Well, you got it nailed down a while ago, man. We talked about it. Cool song about your diffs. Hey, Mr. Roberts, what's going on, man? Congratulations for finding us and welcome to the channel. Hello to you too, good sir. Sorry I missed when you originally came on. I've been building differentials or a differential, but yeah, it's definitely welcome. Um, Wait, what else am I using? I'm using 500K generally in the front, 200K generally in the rear, million in the middle plus earplug. Usually about half an earplug will do it in the middle. I do run 500 front and rear on the stunt truck from time to time, just depending on how I'm feeling about the way the diff's working. I don't run any LSDs because you have to run really light fluid to make them work. But that's another thing. I actually have an LSD in Nick's car, I think, right now, just because I wanted to see if you'd notice it. And yeah, absolutely, man. Welcome to the channel, dude. We're all very nice, polite, helpful people. If you need anything, by all means, please ask. Even if you want to know what the hell is that thing, because more than likely you'll see something where you'll have to say that at some point. It just kind of happens here. So, fun with goo. Come on. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. On the Creighton, I usually run a little bit lighter diff in the rear. Plus, I run zero toe too, so I'm definitely running loose ends. I'm running a stiffer diff, but a looser rear end, technically, if you want to look at it on paper like that. Because zero toe is definitely going to swing it out a lot quicker than the 3 degrees that ARRMA gives you to start with. All right, come on, get on in there. Yeehaw. God, that sounded way redneck. Okay, so I'd say that's an okay amount to go with. I mean, you could use a little more, but I don't want to go nuts here and end up losing my bolts. Plus, hold on a second before we go get stupid here. And we still got that shim in there for spacing, so let's go ahead and get this all fully flushed out and see how much lube is actually in there. Right, so sometimes you might have to do one of these numbers. I need to I'm just gonna take one out of there, stupid. All right, so test fit procedure. If I can get a pen out here, please. Damn you. All right. You can take another out drive and just put it in there with your pin and just press it while you're turning both ends, and you'll be able to seat all the gears so you know what kind of spacing you got. Even if you got a really heavy fluid, you can figure out kind of leftover space if any you have. Which we could definitely go with some more, but like I said, you gotta be careful because you don't want to get that stuff in your gears or in your bolt holes. Which is why they're covered. Yeah, that's right there. Good. Okay. Now, Well, it's not quite locked in for some reason. Okay. Yeah. What the hell's going on here? Spider gears just don't want to line up for some reason. Okay. There we go. All right. Just need some extra force. And as you can see, the extra force caused fluid to come popping out over here. So that's where it gets in your bolt holes, just like that. So I'm just going to hope this works out. Let's see. Already got our spacer on there. So end washer. And very, very carefully. Oops. Okay. I was lifting that while I was moving it, trying not to grab any of that juice. Try and get them all in the hole before you tighten any of them, because if you end up smushing grease out the side or oil or lube, whatever, then it's going to get in your bolt holes. It's all about keeping the lube out of the bolt hole, damn it. All right. So, get these four. Get away in, and then see what happens. This should be perfect, just about. What's going to be interesting is if that offsetness goes away when we get all four bolt holes or bolts in this other side, or maybe it'll change the mesh. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out. These are going a long way. Jesus. All right, come on. Oh, hell. Okay, why isn't this setting up? All right, you guys have been here the whole time. There's no way I stripped this damn case. Never even took a power tool to this damn thing. But this is still quite a ways. This isn't seated yet. Nope. Yeah, something's not set right in there. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Story of my life. If you can, it will go wrong. Yeah, something's not right. Oh, yeah. Fucking high that thing is. I wasn't even touching it. Still doesn't have any lubrication holes. Oh, God. What the fuck, dude? Get down there. All right, fuck it. What in the hell is wrong with this thing? All right, something's not right with one of the damn spider gears or some shit. This is a rare problem, but I can't say it's never happened. All the notches are upright, yeah. Yeah. Our split's not together. That's what it is. Split didn't sit right when it went together. Mm-hmm. There we go. You want to avoid that. Make sure that all the 4 of your plates are sitting at the same depth going around the sides of the case before you put it together. I should have done that, but I was so excited about having all of you here. Well, fine then, Mike. Yeah, tell me about it, bro. I'm doing the same thing at my age. Absolutely not. Hey, cool spawn, be easy, bro, if you don't leave already. Bye, Amy. See you soon. Yeah, see, I really need to figure out a way to make this thing chime when somebody messages me. So when I'm not so deep in my work, I can actually look up and talk. So anyway, we got that all sorted. Now this is going to be done. Already got Loctite. None of the grease got in the holes from what I can see. And they'll actually thread when they're making contact. I don't know how I made such a rookie mistake too. All right, but at least everybody else learned from my mistake if you haven't done that already. All right. And Bongo, it's going to be that. All right. That should be perfect. Where? Mm-hmm. All right, 1 feet, I guess. So shit, I just got rid of over there. All right. It's in the case, stupid. Yeah, these are pretty much anything 6S ARRMA. I guess a lot of the road cars are red spools on, but anything that's actually got a differential. All right, so now we are 0 lash, tiny bit, tiny bit, 0, 0, tiny bit, tiny bit. Yeah. I can tell you all those bolts are torqued the same. I mean, you could technically take it out and take it and like flip the front cover, 180, and see if that made it more even. Because maybe it's a difference between the case and the gear. It's just got that tiny bit. Not even like you couldn't run a plastic bag through there. I know that. So let's put some grease in it and see what it feels like. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's no play or no binding. There's nothing there. Nothing there. And that's exactly it. Zero lash with no binding. That's exactly what you want. And if you got this set up in an aluminum case, you know the case ain't going to flex. You know the diff housing itself ain't going to flex. You know, whatever kind you want to use, but that is it. And like I said, I run these and I usually break out drives or wear out the out drives or break a crown gear before I'll burn up the diff ring and pinion. And I mean, I usually have them out at least every probably between 3 and 5 months, depending on if I got to replace something or not, or even just for maintenance at that point.